We are starting this video off a little differently than normal, and that is because we have no passenger seat, and I'm actually on my way to go pick up the bottom half of my toolbox. 300ZX versus toolbox. I recently did try and fit this in the trunk, and that's why I came back with no seat. Oh man, it's still gonna be close. It fits, it ships. Oh boy, this is the mess I need to clean up. So while I was cleaning the toolboxes, I found some goodies in one of them. I didn't realize I had one of these. This is a steering wheel adapter, quick release hub, and just a couple other random bits and computers. But that works perfectly with the package I just received, all the way from Japan. Another wooden steering wheel. I love wooden steering wheels. I don't know what it is, but this wheel looks very similar to the wheel in my 240. It's just a darker grain and it's a bit smaller. I think this is a 330. I think the wheel on my 240 is a 350. Now I'm curious if that hub that I found fits the 300ZX. But first, let's verify that the holes line up to the hub. Looks like they do. Perfect. All right, how to take off a steering wheel on a 300ZX. You just give it a nice tug. Now you have to take off the airbag first, but you want to make sure that you disconnect your battery because there is a chance that there's enough power that when you disconnect it, it could explode. Now I like to make the steering wheel straight so that when you're putting on the new wheel, you're putting it on straight as well. I'm also going to draw a line as straight up as I possibly can. Pro tip, put the nut back on, a couple threads, so that when you're pulling the steering wheel loose, it doesn't smack you in the face. Sometimes these are really hard to get off. There we go. Whew. Here's our hub. Looks like we're gonna have to take off the clock spring too. There's no way that's gonna fit. It looks like this clock spring also is the release for the turn signal. So we turn left, boom, comes back up. So hopefully we can still have that feature work. Oh, it looks like this does have two dowels in it. I'm pretty sure these two dowels will click the signal back. We'll have to check. It also gives us an indication of what is the top. See if this slides onto the splines. Yes, it slides on. We're good. But the only problem is we only have one screw here. The other two were stripped out on the head. So we're gonna have to run to the store and pick up some hardware. I found 6 of these Allen screws with the bevel, rated for 10.9, so they're strong. And I got the beveled heads so they would fit flush on the wheel. These flat ones would not sit nicely on here. One thing that I always think about with steering wheels is how far you have to extend your finger to hit the turn signal. And the stock wheel is decent. You can actually touch it. Now before I commit to putting the quick release on, I want to make sure that this has good distance without it, because I don't think this is a short hub. I started one screw. You know what? I think I like it like this. Let's see how spaced out it would be with the quick release. Oh my gosh. Look at how far away it is from the turn signal. That's ridiculous. I just realized I'm gonna need to find a horn button for this thing. I'm gonna be staring at a nut. Well, and it does say made in Japan right here. What do you guys think? Wood wheel or stock wheel? This thing is like 20 something pounds though, maybe more. So we definitely got some significant weight reduction from that too. I can't wait to put this thing on a scale and see how much the overall weight is. I want to convert the front suspension first because that'll reduce another 100 or so pounds. I may have put this steering wheel on one notch crooked. Oops. We are back at Andrew's and he ended up getting this tire mounted. There was an issue when we were first putting the tire on because there was some cracking going on from the 3-piece sealant. So basically when the wheels are put together, you have to seal up all the odds and ends, but Andrew ended up resealing it yesterday and put this tire on for me, so thanks a lot, man.
No problem.
New car?
No, customer car.
Ah, someday we'll get an S14 in here. These are called Velside Andrews, and it's funny because we're at Andrews. I don't know what model Andrews these are, but they're 5 spokes. Can't go wrong with 5 spokes.
Best 3-piece.
Now originally I was going to run these wheels on the front of my S13, but I found some damage on the rear of the barrels, so I'm just going to run them on the rear for the rest of the season, and then maybe I'll get them rebuilt because I really don't want that vibration to be felt in the steering wheel. You know what I mean? Really love the design of these wheels. It's very 90s, 2000s, and it also has this plaque, I guess, that says Velside on it. It's pretty neat. I'm really eager to see how these look on the car. I still think I prefer the chromes, but you can't go wrong with some dish in the back. I think these wheels would ultimately look better on the front of the car, but once I restore the lips, then I'll put them on the front. And for those of you curious about what spec they are, these are 17/9 plus 17. Plus 17 is kind of awkward. I've never heard of a plus 17 offset before, and I'm running a 215/40 tire on it. And I also finally received my license plates for the Z 240ZX. Get it? Because it has a KA in it. This is Smokes.
What's up, guys?
This guy is in charge of welding Fran's intercooler. He fixed this thing up really nice. He also welded some additional mounts on the bottom here. And he's currently cleaning up Franzie's Tomei manifold.
Yeah, that thing's a mess.
Yeah, I think it was cracked all over.
Yeah, Tomei USA, not my favorite. Tomei Japan, good.
Japan, good.
America, nah.
Let's get those slapped down there. We have made it to Rockford Speedway. This is the very last event at this track. As you can see, there's a pretty good turnout, and that is because this track is closing down. It's unfortunate, there's a lot of tracks closing down, but we had to make it out to the very last one. We have the gang here, got RC drifting set up at our booth. Franzie helping us out. Alright, let's get our first lap of the day knocked out. Hopefully these wheels hold up. I did have to keep checking the tire pressure on this side because it is leaking a little bit. Let's get it. Such a bad lap. We need a redemption lap. That was so bad. I turned up the boost a little bit though. marker too. Thank you.
There's nothing here. I'm like on the engine.
All right, I'm here with Cho FDM.
Ayo! We didn't crash. I didn't crash. I almost did, though. I didn't crash.
Do you think we both got a redemption? Did you get
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. Definitely got the biggest redemption today.
We have a history of crashing at this track. But with this being the last event, we definitely got, you know, the last few laps.
Honestly, dude, today seeing with all the drivers, like, it was just a blessing that everything worked out today. Seriously. Now it's over now. Now it's over. Also, like, it's just...
This track was pretty bumpy, but I mean, it still is sad that yet another track is
not for me.
closing
I have a
down.
monster truck over there. You know, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. Look,
I'm good.
you were ready for Monster Jam with this thing.
I ain't touched it. No, I bottom out in the back, though. I bottom out.
Hey, how'd the car hold up, though?
Really solid, honestly. Like, dude, like, and then with all the beating on it, it's RB power, bro.
RB power, dude. Dude, we're RB bros.
Dude, seriously. And look, now we got the full body panels on it now.
Dude, first time ever.
Oh, dude. Beautiful picture. Directed by Mike.
We did not run out of gas. We are not pushing the car in the highway. We were driving home from the event, and the 240 had just under a quarter tank of gas. And we may or may not be in tennis shoe mode right now. Tim and Nico had the Z, and they went and picked up some gas. Met them at a median, and yeah, we're filling up the 240. We ran out of gas in the 240. We may or may not have also done a few pulls on the highway with some other cars leaving the show for a very long drive home. Yeah, not a good idea. But that's all right. We're almost back to the car. Hello. All right. Well, we made it back home, but my tire does not hold air anymore. So we're gonna have to figure that out. So do you guys think that the car scene is gonna come to an end with all these tracks closing down? I feel like the residential areas are only growing and the track areas are only shrinking. I really hope that's not the case, because that means we may be the last generation that gets to enjoy modifying cars. And that's just one less place now to grow connections, meet new people that are in the same hobby as you. It definitely wasn't my favorite track by any means, but that doesn't mean I wanted it to close permanently. Also, while I was at my booth, a gentleman named Jimmy gave me a dash cam. He saw the 300ZX video about when I got sideswiped. If you haven't seen it already, a guy basically ran into me and tried blaming me for it. But luckily most of it washed off and buffed out. This is still scratched, the paint is still scratched here, and there's an indent in the fender. Kind of see it. And just a little bit of door damage, nothing too crazy. And I'll give you guys a quick little update on what's going on with that. So I started the claim with his insurance company probably about a week ago. I called yesterday to get an update, and they said, oh, we denied your claim because it's word versus word. I'm like, what do you mean? The guy got a ticket, I have a witness, and there's a police report. They're like, well, we don't have any of that information. Isn't that your job? Like, what? Oh, dude, insurance just blows my mind. So now I'm fighting insurance because the guy said, you know, he's playing the same game. He said that he didn't do it. Also, fun fact, his son commented on the video of the sideswipe. He's like, I'm sorry we had to meet like this. I'll find the screenshot. I don't remember what else it said, but I thought that was wild too. I didn't reply though, because I didn't know what to say. But either way, thank you Jimmy for this dash cam. We're gonna go ahead and install it before we get blamed for any more accidents. Looks like I might have to stop at the store and pick up an SD card. All right, I picked up a little memory card. Now let's open the rest of this. Cable, sticky mount, power adapter, I think. Take off the sticky tape. Let's make sure we stick this on the correct way. The camera is facing that way, okay. About there, I guess. Rotate it forward. Oh, I can't even reach the adjustment knob. All right, tight. Angle that down a little bit. All right, now let's give it some power. Now it's funny because I still haven't figured out why the cigarette lighter port doesn't work in the Z, so we're just gonna use the radio for the power source. All right, this is not forever, this is just temporary. Gotta make sure it works first. Turn the radio on. Green light, that's a good sign. Should probably clean the windshield, huh?
Connect your
Cell phone connection. Let's do that really quick. Oh yeah, we're ready for a test drive. Well, it looks like I just have to route this thing through the headliner and through the A-pillar. That way I don't have a cable just dangling down in the center of the car. Perfect. Now I will eventually have to fix this cigarette lighter port, but I honestly might just relocate it so that I don't have to have my coin tray open at all times while using the dash cam. But for now, that'll do. I hate to sound so repetitive, but if you have a second, check and make sure that you weren't unsubscribed from the channel. I've been hearing that a lot of people have been randomly unsubbed. But as always, thank you guys so much for sticking around. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. I'll see you guys next time.